We'll go reverse in our plans, then return to understand how we got here stranded like the fall of man. Stop backsliding, you've got to wait. Don't you hear me? I'm sounding all alarms. Don't touch that door. Don't you know you'll break me all over and over again? Watch me drown, saw me die. No remorse, not a drop in eye. With the still light pose and a frozen mind. You stop bleeding, it stops my breathing. I can suffocate at the sound of by. Stop backsliding, you've got to wait. Don't you hear me? I'm sounding all alarms. Don't touch that door. Don't you know you'll break me
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy HMK once again, and we're here back within the fifth dimension. Kingdom Hearts has been eluding us for quite a while now, but I feel that 2025 is going to be a big year for all of us. So I hope you guys are ready for that. And in that case, we have to have my boy, my brother, fellow key keeper. That's right, Jared. How you doing today? What's up? You know, like, it's funny because I thought I was bugging because I'm pretty sure people can hear the music that I'm playing in the background, but I can't hear it because I don't know why. Like, this, you guys need to understand, I've been going through some audio issues. Like, that's why I started like a minute late and whatnot, but whatever. Y'all, yeah, the scuffery, exactly. Y'all can hear the music, right? I just want to make sure. We're gonna talk about Kingdom Hearts, don't worry. Wait, oh, there it is. Hold on, I got it. Wait. Why was it doing that for me? Speakers, hi.
I mean, it would be.
There we go. That is
like
loud.
technical issues, right? Like.
Yeah. All right, that was loud. I'm so glad I got my headphones. All right, now I can hear the music. All right, everything is working. Wait. Now my VTuber. Oh, the scuffery.
The scuffery, man.
Hello. Wait. Hello. All right, now it's working. Man, my eyebrows are gonna be like, I'm gonna shave my eyebrows off by the end of the stream. I swear to God. But we're here. We're working. Everything's working. Guys, can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear Jared? Is everything good? Please, God.
Chicken. Hello, chicken. Marinated.
Chicken dinner. Winner, chicken dinner. So anyways, we're here talking about Kingdom Hearts in 2025 because I feel like it's really going to be our year. And then funny enough, the entire Kingdom Hearts community was out wilding yesterday because Tetsuya Nomura decided to drop a very interesting piece of context on Twitter for the Birth by Sleep 15th anniversary, which I want to dive into that for a little bit, but I want to preface that by stating, isn't it like, wait, you guys don't hear Jared? There's no way.
I'm in the realm of darkness?
Wait. Can you hear Jared now?
Hello? Heard him? No, he's here.
Okay. See, no. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to like end the stream right now. Like, y'all can't be doing this to me. Please don't. Anyways, let's try this again. Hello, my name is HMK and I like warm hugs. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise all volumes. Am I quiet? It's like, hold on. Goodness gracious. Hold on.
From what I can hear, you're all good.
All right, you say something.
From what I can hear, you're all good. Yeah,
right.
No, I can hear that, all right?
Okay, I'm gonna raise you just in case. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. What the? There we go.
How I miss streaming.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't wait for you to come back to the suck. Like, it's gonna be great. So now finally we can start. Hello. 5 hellos, fifth dimension, Kingdom Hearts 2025, Birth by Sleep 15th anniversary. Tetsuya Nomura released an interesting piece of context and what I believe is a teaser. But let's talk about that for a tiny second, in which, isn't it odd that Tetsuya Nomura put out something like special for an anniversary of a game? Because I mean, Kingdom Hearts social media accounts, sometimes they acknowledge the anniversary of the game, sometimes they do. And when they do, they just tweet a picture or anything like that, like, oh, Chain of Memories, congratulations on 13 years, or Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, 10th anniversary, and they tweet out a picture. But this one seemed really special, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It was strange. And I think that's why a lot of people were taken back, is that it doesn't really happen too often, and they're really particular with it. We had randomly the Kingdom Hearts coded opening uploaded to their social medias 2 or 3 years ago, which was so strange. So it's you can never really tell if they're going to acknowledge one or not, let alone with an entire breakdown of some kind of fun fact that's basically a tease into the future. Yeah, it was bizarre.
Oh, that's bizarre was the least, because I definitely feel that this was like some sort of tiny tease into the future, especially that last line of what Tetsuya Nomura said. So for those who don't know or like didn't hear or didn't read what he said, Tetsuya Nomura basically gave us context to the concept of Crossroads within that of Kingdom Hearts. And I was out here, like, I was hyped about that because I love that legend of American folklore when it comes to blues music, when it comes to making a deal with the devil at the Crossroads for blues fame, for the ability to play the guitar, or any which way. But Crossroads has been a thing in legend for like years, like eons, right? But it was really cool for Tetsuya Nomura to reference that, and the fact that it's also really funny to me, the fact that like, oh, this is Kingdom Hearts, for you guys that didn't know, is a Disney game, right? And I find it crazy that like up on Kingdom Hearts' like social media, he's like, deal with the devil, like he was very like
ironic.
I'm like, whoa, yo, this got past the Disney censors, what? Let's go.
I actually saw like one of the viral tweets, quote tweets talking about it was just simply like, I can't believe that the deal with the devil like legend is what inspired Kingdom Hearts, and that went just like completely viral. It's well, I mean, it's hilarious.
It didn't completely inspire Kingdom Hearts, but it was just one important inspiration for one important piece of Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
it's funny.
For those that don't know the legend, I'm just gonna gloss over it real quick before we go on to the next topic, is that the deal with the devil in terms of American blues deals with the song by American blues musician Robert Johnson. Yes. Yeah. Robert Johnson, and the song is called Crossroad Blues, right? And his life wasn't documented like extremely well. He kind of just came out of nowhere, put out some bangers, and then died at 27, right? So then when you take a look at the song, if you guys haven't heard the song, go listen to it, Crossroad Blues. When you take a look at the song and then you listen to a lot of analysts and a lot of music enthusiasts, blues enthusiasts, have pretty much like agreed upon on the legend that like, oh, is he trying to say that I sold my soul to the devil in order to like get this fame, in order to play the guitar and whatnot? And then that legend in itself spread like wildfire during the early 1900s. And then, a lot of people say like, oh, it was time for him to collect, the devil to collect at his tender age of 27, which was incredibly unfortunate. And then we have all these other pieces of media that was inspired by the legend, now including Kingdom Hearts. There was Metalocalypse, there was the movie Crossroads, there was the show Supernatural that all reference this. Like, those are all just some examples of the reference to this legend. And I want to ask you, Jared, did you ever hear about this legend before this?
No, like I did a bit of research, obviously, upon reading it, but given that it is like American folklore, no, I have no idea about it up until the post. Yeah.
It's a very, very simple story. And then I've seen a lot of people confuse this with Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I just wanted to clarify for those that thought it's not that. The Charlie Daniels song Devil Went Down to Georgia is a completely different story in which the devil himself went down to Georgia, and challenged a boy named Johnny to a fiddling contest, wagering a golden fiddle against his soul. That's not the same thing that happened with this legend. The legend is that someone sought out the devil in order to sell a soul for something in exchange, because as Nomura puts it, the whole concept of the Crossroads based on this legend was going there to meet someone in order to find something by giving something up, which has happened, throughout the entirety of Kingdom Hearts every time we go to a Crossroads.
Yeah, it's like a transaction, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So now we're gonna get into the juicy stuff, because that last line, which I feel I need Tetsuya Nomura, Square Enix, Disney, and Kingdom Hearts to understand. When you leave a line like this at the end of your message, people are gonna be wilding. People are absolutely gonna be wilding. So
I mean, especially because it's been so long since anything, right? So it's like, fine, how much longer, dude?
It's happening. It's coming. I promise. It's gonna happen. Trust me. Trust. So the last line, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the tweet pulled up, is saying that, but wait, if we're talking about all of these examples of people giving up something in order to find something at Crossroads, what did the Lost Masters give up in order to gain? Well, that's a story for another time. I'm like, oh, nah. You can't do that. You can't do that, Tetsuya Nomura. So let's talk about that for a little bit. All right.
Right.
I'll let you start. So, any ideas on what could be the mystery exchange, the mystery transaction?
Well, I think that like the gain is obviously both the black box and the masters being resurrected. I think that's like fairly obvious. But yeah, in terms of the loss, like I think, you know, it could be a wide range of things. It could be something to do with the masters that is before even the era of Key within his origin story, or whatever it is to do with the actual goal that he has in mind. He had to sacrifice something way back when. There is also that thing of how he put the darknesses like within inside of the foretellers as well. And that maybe perhaps the loss hasn't actually happened yet, and rather it is the gain first, loss later. Whether it means the inevitable fate of the masters, like the rest of the foretellers, being killed off and sacrificed, who knows?
It could, it could definitely be something along those lines. I was also thinking in avenues where people were saying that, to gain, obviously, Lucian went there to gain back his homies, to gain back the Lost Masters.
That's right, yeah.
And also to gain back the Master of Masters. And what they gave up, a lot of people were saying, what was given up in exchange? I mean, Ava wasn't there. So there's the idea of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities. It's just kind of hard. I think the most obvious one though is the gain of all of them coming back into present time.
Oh, absolutely.
Including the Master of Masters, wherever he is in the, Quadratum, Unreality, Black Box, etc. But yeah, the loss is interesting. That's the big one.
Right. And I feel like it go like in so many different avenues, because I mean, like, people will argue, well, maybe Ava isn't lost even though she's not present because her chess piece is still there. And then from what we know from Dark Road is that all the Lost Masters already contain the 7 deadly darknesses within them.
That's right.
And then there's the idea where they're saying, to gain something, like getting them back, but then to lose something, what they lost was maybe a piece of themselves when they decided to become vessels to these darknesses and whatnot. But it's so tantalizing. Like I feel that there's very few franchises that have this much power with a sentence. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the benefit I think that you get when you've got this long, multi-decade spanning story, right? Because people have been invested for such a long time, where it's like each installment isn't as important as the other. Whereas, you look at like the Final Fantasy games, just imagine if those mainline games were all interconnected, it would be the same thing. So I think that's sort of the benefit of having this uber long running story. It's like when the Harry Potters, were coming out and stuff, like the movies and whatnot, or even the books. People were so invested because it ran for such a long time. So that's sort of the benefit I think you get. And yeah, it's like Nomura will literally say, like, I mean, in this case, it's multiple paragraphs or whatever, but like it can be literally just a sentence and we can be absolutely on the floor at our knees frothing over like literally just a fun fact. It's insane. Right? It's the power the series has.
It really is, because like it's all over the place at this point, but then we have like a clear, concise path to go down right now. And like if a question like this were to be posed like, during the time of like Kingdom Hearts in its mid journey, I feel like it'll be a bit more volatile. And I'm not saying it's not super volatile now, because it is, because I mean, look at us, right? But the fact that we have this, like, even though we're talking about Crossroads here, we have this straight line in mind in terms of the Lost Master arc going into Kingdom Hearts 4. So going off of that, let's talk about the idea that, do you believe, and we're gonna riff off this, do you believe that this message was specifically curated in mind to act as kind of a precursor to the idea that we're gonna get more information this year?
I mean, it's kind of, it's sort of, like, I think that 2025 is going to be a really good year. I mean, regardless of Kingdom Hearts 4, we know that at least there's going to be something missing Link, but I think that they won't really want to leave it, like, 3 years without anything substantial dropping, and there's only about, like, 3.5 months left in order to do that before, well, actually 3 months at this point, before April 10th. So, possibly, but, like, it's always, it's hard to tell. I mean, that's the thing that we're gonna like jump to, but I think it is absolutely time, without a doubt. I have heard like certain things as well from a source of mine that I do trust, and I have verified their standing within the industry.
Right.
And it's all good things. I did actually hear something quite interesting that I will publicly talk about. I will loop you into this, Gio. But I will publicly talk about this probably next month, and it is in regards to Kingdom Hearts 4. It's something quite interesting and likely has something to do with the comment that Tetsuya Nomura made during the concert in 2023 about like the direction change. And all that
Gotcha.
But I have heard that there is, and I don't know if you caught wind of this, but like the February showcase.
Yes.
From Square Enix.
Mhm.
That is something that is likely happening.
And also the Quattro domain, right?
And the Quattro domain, which
Yes.
suggests that like likely the global website of Kingdom Hearts 4 is something that's happening or is gearing up to be like posted. So like there's a lot of different
There's
indicators and
there's definitely
stuff.
something.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and we've also got the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts 2 this year, so it's like if he's made a post like this for BBS's 15th, 20 years of Kingdom Hearts 2 is a little bit more important. I feel
that's gonna be a spicy post.
Right?
I can just imagine like part of that idea if he like but when they celebrate the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary, I feel like I want to be hopeful and have the idea that Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna be re-revealed at that point. And then when they do something like that, where they celebrate Kingdom Hearts 2's anniversary, it's like, oh, and also, did you know that reaction commands originated in Kingdom Hearts 2? Are you excited to see them back in Kingdom Hearts 4?
Something like that. I can
you know what I mean?
picture it. I can. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Like some of those fan favorite features and systems and mechanics that you came to love in Kingdom Hearts 2 will be re-implemented in Kingdom Hearts 4 or something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I can see them definitely doing that. And like there's also some stuff I've been hearing like in the background too. But of course, I like you guys need to understand, like I don't want to get ninja'd out by certain aspects, but I can definitely like not definitely, but like how do I word this? How do I put this?
You're confident.
There's movements. Yeah, I'm confident that there are movements. Right. I didn't expect to have movements happen this soon, but I'm confident that movements were going to happen like within the first half of the year. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, it's that whole thing of like going past April. I really doubt, and especially for like investors' case as well,
right.
That they just won't let it reach that. Maybe that's the optimist within me. Perhaps maybe I should be like a little bit more cynical on the case, but like I don't know, man.
I get it.
But yeah, no, I just don't think they'll let it reach 3 years.
Absolutely not. Right. And then here's the thing. So a lot of people have been like stewing on the idea, funny enough, that this game has not been stewing. Like I don't know where people got the idea that all of this time that has passed for the development of Kingdom Hearts 4, like they aren't doing something with it, right? And like, no, they're absolutely developing this game and whatnot. And here's the philosophy that I feel that a lot of people need to, I feel like, start to like grasp, is that Square Enix, it took them a while to like kind of catch up on this type of, promotional philosophy, but I feel they're doing something very similar to that of what Nintendo's been doing over the past couple of years when it comes to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch games, where they've developed the game and they've had this shit in their pocket for like God knows how long, and then they're like, hey, all right, here's the game. And it's like, cool, when's it coming out? In 2 months. Oh, it's coming out next week. Oh, it's coming out in like at the end of the year, and we just revealed it like earlier this year. I definitely feel that the next time we're gonna see Kingdom Hearts 4 and it's gonna look amazing, the game is going to be released within a year of it being revealed.
Yeah.
Right? And the only reason why we got something at the 20th anniversary is because, like, come on, guys, like the 20th anniversary. Like, I know that they weren't gonna like leave us empty-handed. Imagine like the big like surprise at the end of the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event was Missing Link, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
like,
that would have been flat. That would have been flat.
Oh yeah, hella flat. And like as much as people like have different opinions on what we saw with Kingdom Hearts 4, I thought, and I stand by this, and I've said this over and over again, I thought it looked great. I thought the game looked great. Obviously, they're rough around the edges in certain aspects. The game was running in engine. It was utilizing Unreal Engine 4, which they confirmed they're going to be tinkering with Unreal Engine 5 for the full release for the actual game. But I liked what we saw, and I felt like it was a very clear indicator of what we can expect with this game. But when we see the game again, like I was telling my chat yesterday, it's gonna be like night and day. Like, Jared, do you remember what the first Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer looked like?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
like...
totally different. That was like undercooked. That was basically just the cake batter, right? It wasn't even in the oven yet. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna look like substantially different, I feel. And that kind of links back into the stuff that was circulating like last year about how like Kingdom Hearts 4 is in a position where it does look wildly different. Again, whether or not that's true or not, just because Midori's sort of like a touchy subject.
That
we found out.
That whole debacle was crazy.
Yeah, fucking insane, man. Fucking insane. Yeah.
But I do want to believe that, like, even besides what came to light about that whole situation, I want to believe that there is at least like a portion of the truth.
Oh no,
that.
Some of the, like, a lot of the stuff that Midori posted is absolutely, basically they had a backdoor into a bunch of information, and
I heard about this.
It was to be verified to be true.
Right.
A lot of it was like Sega related and stuff, and they also had the connection, how they somehow got access to the backdoor had some stuff in regards to Square Enix, and I believe it only because it wasn't absolutely wild claims, maybe apart from the mention of Treasure Planet, because I just don't think that we're going to have both Treasure Planet and Star Wars.
Don't.
Who knows?
Do
like,
this
who
to
knows?
me, brother.
But honestly, it would ruin me as well, because that is absolutely my most wanted Disney IP to get into Kingdom Hearts. Right?
Make Kingdom Hearts 4 an entire space game, all space worlds, man. All space worlds.
Exactly. Let us double dip. Who cares? For the sake
Star
of getting
Wars, Treasure Planet.
That's right.
Mars needs moms. No, please, that movie's garbage. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but absolutely, I do believe the information, just because the claims weren't crazy. It was Kingdom Hearts 4 2026. The game has progressed in development, and it does look wildly different. Whatever that means, who knows? Maybe. But yeah.
I want to assume when they said wildly different, I mean, like, I want to assume like improved. You know what I mean? Because, you know,
that's right.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people complain about the idea of Kingdom Hearts 4 looking the way that it does, but I mean, like, there's story reason to it, right? And I like the look, and I really hope that, you know, the development team didn't look at those negative comments like, all right, let's scrap it. Like, it's like, oh, I'll never forgive y'all if that happens. Like, nah, give me that realistic world. It's only gonna be in Quadratum, you guys. It's only gonna be in Quadratum. He's gonna change when he goes to a world.
That's right. That's right.
But riffing off of that, because like I brought up Nintendo for a little bit, so let's segue into that. Where I don't know if you've been keeping up, but there has been a lot of Nintendo Switch leaks that has been happening in the past couple of years.
It's insane, right? It's like Nintendo are busy asleep. What's going on?
Yep, asleep at the wheel. So, you know, with that idea, you know, I feel that maybe, just maybe, I don't know, this the Nintendo fan in me wilding out, where like, what if they're like a portion of the reason why Square Enix was kind of like tight-lipped about Kingdom Hearts 4 to the degree that they are is because of you know, they're waiting for the Nintendo Switch 2 to like reveal itself and then list it as a console that, you know, they're planning to develop for. Because from the specs that I've been seeing with the Switch, like from the leaked, I'm using quotation marks, you guys, from the leaked specs that I've been seeing with the Switch 2, I feel that the Switch 2 would be able to run a version of Kingdom Hearts 4, not the cloud versions. And also, it would be great to bring, like, you know, the native versions of the games to Switch 2. Like,
that's right.
please.
That's right. They're so one of the leaks suggests that DLSS is a thing for Switch 2, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
AI upscaling and all that kind of
yeah.
thing.
So what I've been reading about the Nintendo Switch 2 when it comes to DLSS, which for those that know is deep learning super sampling, it's a proprietary technology that NVIDIA does with their graphics cards. I'm pretty sure it was starting with the 30 series or the 20. I don't care, whatever. The point is that the chip that the Switch 2 apparently is going to be using is going to allow it to use DLSS 3.1, right? And if you guys have seen videos of what 3.1 is capable of, then I'm like, then,
yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It could do Kingdom Hearts 4. It can do Kingdom Hearts 4. I want to assume. Right? But that would be crazy to have like Kingdom Hearts be like a big presence on the Nintendo Switch 2, because there's also been leaks and rumors about other third-party games coming to Switch 2, which include Master Chief Collection, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, and the Doom games as well. So I'm just hoping that like those turn out legitimate, and I hope Nintendo actually says something about it. But
yeah, I think like, hey, if it turns out that the Switch 2 can run Rebirth, then I think Kingdom Hearts 4's got a pretty good chance. I still think that like Kingdom Hearts 4, like being UE 5 and whatnot, will be a little bit more technically advanced than Rebirth, but still, like, no doubt they'll be close. Right. If we truly do see the announcement of Rebirth, especially for Switch 2, then yeah, there's no reason why, like, with the AI upscaling DLSS and optimization and stuff, there's no reason why Kingdom Hearts 4 can't come. But the absolute one that needs to be there is the native ports of the Kingdom Hearts games. And Kingdom Hearts 3, like, no question, it'll be able to run on the Switch 2. If the rumors are true, suggesting that it is perhaps a bit more powerful than a PS4 Pro, whatever it is, then yeah, absolutely. Kingdom Hearts 3 will be able to run on that. No worries. It runs sweet on Steam Deck, although I don't think the Switch 2 will be as powerful as the Steam Deck. There's no excuse. It will run fine.
So here's something that was very interesting, because we're gonna move on to the next subject right here, because I know we're here to talk about Kingdom Hearts, but this is Kingdom Hearts adjacent. But when it comes to the DLSS that apparently Nintendo Switch 2 is gonna be utilizing, apparently they patent a version of DLSS that they more than likely created in tandem with NVIDIA using their chip. And people way smarter than me have broken it down to me in stating that this could be a revolutionary way to develop games moving forward on Nintendo Switch 2, which will allow assets to be like upscaled in real time within the console itself. That would take
I saw this.
Yeah, it was like 2 gigabytes worth of assets will be upscaled within real time on the console stuff, up to like 10 gigabytes worth of stuff. So, and apparently that's going to be like a dream for development teams. So if that turns out, if that pans out, then I'm like, hey, Kingdom Hearts 4, let's get it.
Absolutely. It kind of sounds like Nintendo's own version of PlayStation's iteration of DLSS, the PSSR. So it kind of seems as if like these console manufacturers are kind of coming up with their own technologies in partnership with the graphics card companies, which is cool to kind of more so be specialized for what's within the system itself. And that could be like huge for Switch 2. It means that like the Switch 2 is also receiving the same games that are launching on PlayStation 5 Series X.
So here's the thing, with the whole console world, guys, we're going to move on to Kingdom Hearts again. But with the whole console world thing, and I feel like the whole speak of like, oh, this console be as powerful, almost as powerful as this. I mean, it's a good way to indicate comparison points to people that don't really talk about this kind of stuff. But I feel that it gets really reductive and removes the nuance of what certain consoles are capable of, and like it doesn't really flesh out what the Switch 2 can do if people are just gonna say, oh, as powerful this, as powerful this. But I mean, yeah, but the Switch 2 can do this in terms of developing games. So that's my take on that. All right, next subject, Kingdom Hearts. We're back. When do you think we're gonna see Missing Link?
Yeah, so I think like most of us are pretty set on spring, right? So that begins, I believe, March for the US and Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that March? Start of spring?
the start of spring is March, yes. Because
Yeah. So,
winter actually starts like late December into March, yeah.
right, okay. So, yeah, I feel like sometime partway through, midway, maybe late spring, they would probably be looking at launch. So, I feel as if we will hear about it sometime within the next 3 months. Surely.
Gotcha.
100%. 100%. But I have to say, it's like, I'm so curious to know what is taking this game so long, because it has gone through multiple delays, multiple public delays, and what is obviously multiple internal delays.
Mm-hmm.
So it does scream, okay, this is probably like one of the most ambitious mobile phone games that Square Enix have ever taken on. That's probably the reason, but then also too, are they reworking certain aspects? And I know we've talked a lot about like, oh, they're reworking the entire game. Like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
idea.
actually think that's the dream scenario, of course. But
Absolutely.
no, I don't actually think so. But to what degree has a potential rework taken place if it has taken place? But like, what is the core reason that's causing this game to be delayed so much? That's what I want to know.
So I have two underlying theories that I feel are both what's the word? They're both feasible. Where something in the game, like they did 2 betas, people loved it. The only real complaint in the first beta is like, oh, this is making my phone heat up. They kind of fixed that a little bit from what I've heard, but it still heats up certain phones or whatever. But I mean, like, if a game is like that big ambitious on your phone, yeah, like depending on what phone you have, it's gonna like heat it up. That when they're trying to like finish the polish of the game, like something nasty within the code just fucked it up. Just like it fell apart when they were trying to like put the thing together. Because the version that people were playing in the beta, that was fine. But then when they have the whole version ready out the ship, they're like, okay, this ain't working. I keep falling apart, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, someone spilled their coffee on one of the servers or some shit. But that's one theory. The second theory that I have is that possibly Square and Disney, more than likely probably Disney, was looking at the success and failures of other adjacent mobile games and was like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't put a good amount of investment or money on the concept of GPS. So maybe they're gutting that feature specifically, and then that's what's adding to the development time.
Yeah, I agree, because I think that's going to be... I think the GPS thing right now is, like, mostly a deterrent more than anything, personally speaking. And really, if you look at it, if you look at all of the other GPS-related mobile phone games, not a lot of them are successful. The only one that's really managed to completely take off is Pokemon, because it was one of the first to do it, but also it kind of, like, works in tandem with, like, the theme and the entire core of what Pokemon is, so it kind of makes sense, right? But there's not many other games that have blown up because of like the GPS gimmick,
right?
So I really, it's just so interesting that Square Enix have decided to even go down this road, because like I think you would probably have more people playing the game if it was just a UE4 mobile title that is basically just an RPG, action RPG, without the GPS gimmicks. So it's really interesting. But the other side of it, I feel, could also be the preparation of content, because this was obviously a major issue with Union Cross.
Right.
And Tetsuya Nomura did mention back in December of 2023 that, like, at that point, they already have enough content created. To what degree, we don't know. But they definitely don't want to repeat the same issues that Union Cross faced. And Nomura made that, like, incredibly clear. That was unforgivable. We can't do that again.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe they're ensuring that, you know, there is at least a year's worth of updates that can consistently drop upon launch.
Right. Because, I mean, when you take a look at at another Square Enix mobile game that's currently in motion right now, Ever Crisis, and Ever Crisis's drops have been extremely consistent, right? So I feel that they're like it's paying off for them it's paying off for them enough for that game. So I feel like they're trying to have a very similar release schedule philosophy for Missing Link, and maybe they're prepping that as well. But
100%, and I think they'll want to get this right, because if you look at their mobile game sector, it is literally the most profitable corner of Square Enix. It turns over more than double the amount that the HD sector does, which is pretty insane to think about, especially because over the past few years they've been shutting services down, and while the past year has received a drop in net revenue for the company, it's still more profitable than any other sector of Square Enix as a whole. So I think they just kind of want to get that right, and especially with like the release of Final Fantasy XIV Mobile as well, that is likely to probably come out late this year.
You know, I completely forgot that they're doing that. I'm
yeah,
like, they are doing 14 Mobile. That's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah, like if we're talking about like ambitious games, like that's absolutely it in regards to mobile. So, but then again, that's being outsourced. So that's not actually being developed in house. Whereas Missing Link completely in house. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. We should be hearing about it soon, though. Again, it's like one of those things where it's, man, it was just absolute MIA throughout 2024, and to release a trailer saying 2024 and then like not say anything until like last minute is crazy. Man, I mean, that's just
it had all of us like this,
Hearts,
man, crazy.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm still like really excited for Missing Link. You know, I understand people feel some type of way over the concept of mobile games in general, but I mean, like, to have Kingdom Hearts in the palm of your hands like that, but not even in the palm of your hands, because I mean, like, hell, I could like set this up, stream it to one of my PC monitors, controller support, like,
it's been an option for a while, which is nice. I just think that, you know, it's exciting that we've got a mobile Kingdom Hearts game that is almost basically to the same quality in regards to its systems, the way it looks, the way it basically plays without the GPS gimmicks, to that of like a normal Kingdom Hearts experience. Like, I love Union Cross's story and the exciting times of receiving the updates and stuff, but the gameplay was just not good. It was like as mobile phone games get. It was not good.
Right.
Personally speaking, but I just like I couldn't handle it. So like obviously Missing Link is a lot more attractive in that sense.
Yo, I'm sorry, just my chat is bugging out.
I see that. What's going on? It's
what
raving.
What is happening?
It's raving. I've never seen that.
Okay, like I'm sure.
That's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature. I feel like it's gonna fix itself. All right. Yeah, guys, it's gonna fix itself. Wait, you guys can help fix it. Get chat in the Twitch chat. So anyways, I saw a couple of questions going off on the YouTube side of things and on the Twitch side of things when it comes to the idea of the potential of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I feel like we've been waiting for this for a while. All right, see, it fixed itself. Cool. I feel like we've been waiting on the idea of Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS5 and Xbox Series X, right? And I'm like, listen, like here once again, I'm throwing y'all back into the Nintendo zone, right? What if Square Enix has actually been cooking this behind the scenes, right? And then has like an updated, upscaled version, like a slightly cleaner version, like remastered version of Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS5, Xbox Series X, but is waiting to release it alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 version, so they all come out at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's really the only thing, because like I don't know if Switch 2 would be able to reap the benefits of like a next gen upgrade per se, because really there's not much more you can do with the current PS4 version other than native 4K or something like that, or slightly clearer picture.
I would say like either native 4K or like absolute consistent 60 frames, because it does dip slightly.
It can. It's not too bad though. Like, Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's one of those hard things. It would be nice to have like a native PS5 version, but I just don't know if the benefits are going to be huge, right? Because the current one is. I mean, you could also like integrate VRR, so variable refresh rate.
Yeah.
So that you could have higher frame rates on console than that of 60, like you can already experience on PC. I mean, that would be cool, but like, is that enough to sort of warrant Square Enix wanting to spend time to do that, you know?
Yo, I'm about to bug out and be like, listen, what if they do that and they're like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3, Remind, now on Nintendo Switch 2, PS4, and Xbox. Clearer visuals, 4K, upscale, blah, 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 and a secret episode and like fucking playable Yozora episode in order to play into
something
4.
like that would be like, yeah, genuinely insane. That'd be a great way of like steering people back. 100%,
Exactly, right. But
I mean, like Tetsuya Nomura did mention that they wanted to do like a little bit more, like in regards to a world scenario for the DLC of Reminds, but it was decided to be cut. So like, I don't know. Imagine if they decided to like kind of bring that back, acting as like a little bit of a prologue thing for Kingdom Hearts. Well, I don't know. That'd be sick.
And then also, like, even if it were to have an episode or not included in the new package or whatever, there's always the concept of like, hey, you own the PS4 version, upgrade for free. And then like how Sky is saying in the chat, if a physical version comes out with the DLC already on disc or on cart, that's a good selling point as well.
100%. Like, see, I think that is like the biggest reason there. Repackage it to actually be both Series X and PS5 with the DLC, because currently we don't have that unless you buy the the all-in-one bundle or whatever it is.
But only on
so
digital,
you can't
right?
just yeah, exactly. So like you can't actually buy Kingdom Hearts 3 with the DLC physically. So I could see that being like a reason as to like, you know, re-release it. Why not? I mean, Capcom recently re-released Resident Evil 2, 7, and another one.
4?
No, because 4 already came out on PS5, but they were re-released physically for PS5 and Series X. Yeah, which do come with like additional upgrades, or if you just want to update it, you can. So yeah, totally. Although Capcom are kind of like a little bit different these days too.
Oh yeah, Capcom
Square,
and
man,
Sega,
they're killing it.
like they
are
woke
killing it.
the fuck up. They're
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Word, and now we got
major respect.
Onimusha.
Onimusha, dude! I know, it's insane. It's insane, dude. Just to quickly like segue a little bit.
No, go for it.
I sure thought that Onimusha was like in the grave, and I'm sure people also thought that like Okami was too. But the remaster of Onimusha performed terribly. Like no one gave a shit. No, aside from like the diehard fans. Obviously, I ate that up, of course. But no one gave a shit, and so I think there was something said that, like, depending on the success of the remaster, Capcom might look at doing something more with Onimusha. It didn't perform, so everyone was like, all right, well, that's done.
It's dead.
Like, that is in the grave. So to see that is a huge deal. Massive.
You know what I'm mad about? I'm like, okay, I'm happy that Capcom brought back Okami and brought back Onimusha, but Capcom, listen to me. How the fuck does Torok come back and we still don't have a new Dino Crisis?
No, yeah, that's insane. That is insane. Like that's a clear moneymaker right there, right? It's Resident Evil with fucking dinosaurs.
Man.
Come on, dude.
I can't believe this. That's wild. But yeah, I'm glad that we're getting like, you know, what's the word? This kind of like Renaissance resurgence of like older IPs, and I hope that they fly when they come out or whatnot. And I'm glad that Kingdom Hearts never really like good.
No, I was just saying, like, that's absolutely it. It seems like it's a huge thing at the moment, and PlayStation also recently announced that, like, they are currently looking at, like, bringing back some legacy stuff. There's even rumors suggesting that they've got, like, some deep-seated, they're currently actually working, some studios are working on bringing back some deep-seated legacy series. So it kind of seems like we're going full circle here, man. It's great.
Man, my kingdom for Jack and Daxter, bro.
I know,
man.
Dude.
That's
I know.
Fine. It's fine. You know who's alive? Gex and Toomba.
I know. Oh my god, bro, Gex. Oh my god, dude.
Oh, that's
Into the Gecko is like, it's just peak platformer. Oh my god, it's so good. I can't believe it. 2025 Gex Takeover. Let's do it.
And you know who's
so
coming back in
excited.
2025, you guys? And you guys better buy that game. Glover.
Oh, true. I never experienced it as a kid, but I do know.
Oh,
of its
you gotta play that
existence.
shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gotta try it out.
Glover. So, yeah. With all that being said, gearing back towards Kingdom Hearts, I'm glad that Kingdom Hearts, had a consistent release, schedule in terms of its games all the way throughout its 20 plus years. So that's why I'm really gunning for that's why damn, I see all of these other games thriving or coming back, and I'm like, yo, Kingdom Hearts, come back to us. And I feel like 2025 is going to be it. So speaking on Kingdom Hearts 4 for a little bit, considering that I feel that the Crossroads thing was a teaser, what or some aspects at this point in time, because we've talked about so much stuff considering Kingdom Hearts 4, but at this point in time, what's something that you would like to see or something that you expect to see now that we're 3 years off of its initial trailer, in terms of the game or in terms of its next reveal?
I'd sort of like to see Tetsuya Nomura kind of talking about some of the player feedback that they generated from Kingdom Hearts 3, and how they've used that to adapt into the development of Kingdom Hearts 4. They did slightly talk about this with the return of the reaction command system, and how at first they thought people didn't like it, and then it turns out no, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out years later and people really missed that system. And so I'll have kind of more of a deep dive within maybe one of the Famitsu interviews or something, just kind of talking about how the player feedback has helped kind of shape the development of Kingdom Hearts 4, because I think honestly that's the most exciting thing about Kingdom Hearts 4 is KH3 was the first modern era HD huge big budget Kingdom Hearts title.
Right.
It was a first in many different avenues for that game. And so I think based on what people said about that game, the experiences, what people liked, disliked, means that Kingdom Hearts 4 has the potential to be potentially one of the best Kingdom Hearts titles of all fucking time. There is so much that Square Enix and Tetsuya Nomura can go off to make this something insane. And that's I'm saying that even with liking Kingdom Hearts 3 so much, and still to this day, I struggle to determine what one is my favorite. I mean, Osaka
Nice.
Team, personally, I think cooked with KH3.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I'm not just even saying with the Remind update and whatnot. Yeah, there were some glaring issues, absolutely, with the base game. But it was still fun as fuck. It was still absolutely great. So I cannot wait to see the evolution of Osaka Team for Kingdom Hearts 4. I think it's genuinely going to be something incredible, and I cannot wait to prove those KH3 doubters wrong. I see so many people saying oh, Kingdom Hearts ended at 3. It was trash. It was garbage.
Oh my
blah, blah,
god!
blah, blah, blah.
Every time
we know
I
these
see
guys
those
are gonna be
fuckers,
playing
bro.
KH4 day one, bro, and gobbling it up.
Man,
So
exactly.
it's
They're like, Kingdom Hearts should have ended at 3. It was so bad. It was so bad, so garbage. And I'm like, you guys, it's so funny when people say that kind of shit unironically. And I'm like, y'all don't know what bad games are. You really don't know what a bad video game is. To say that Kingdom Hearts, unironically, is garbage. Go out of my face. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind was the cooking. All right, that game was
100%.
amazing, right? And I do agree with what you're saying, because I've been one of Kingdom Hearts 3's biggest defenders since day one, because I love Kingdom Hearts 3, especially vanilla. Remind is just on another level. That's why in my heart of hearts, Remind, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, the entirety of that is my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. But to go off saying that Kingdom Hearts 3 base had glaring issues, that's very true, very valid, and I feel that a lot of people refuse to acknowledge that they all do. Especially when we look at the numbered games, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 had glaring issues at base, and then the final mixes came out, and then cooked, delicious. Thank you for another steak. I'll have one more, right? So to see how they're, going from that design philosophy, going from Kingdom Hearts 1 into Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 into Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 3 into Remind, I just wonder how are they going to tackle 4 if they're going to continue that type of, I would say, design philosophy in mind, to say that, oh, let's start things like this and then Final Mix afterwards. Or,
That's right. Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do that again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like tradition to have this extended or additional content or something like that. Like, the 3 main games have made that really obvious. I just kind of hope, though, that, like, they don't keep making it so that, like, the post-game content's really good once, like, the extended edition comes out or, like, the DLC comes out. Like, it shouldn't really be like that. Personally speaking, I think you should already have like a boss-ass secret boss fight, like for the base game, and we shouldn't have to rely on like a DLC pack or whatever to like extend post-game content. I think they should really kind of learn from the mistakes of the vanilla versions of all 3 games. Like, it shouldn't really take 3 mainline games in the span of 20 plus years to kind of get that down on pat. I hope that is one of the learning curves that they take with Kingdom Hearts 4. But yeah, additional content, DLC, I mean, it's like the modern way of doing things, right? And Kingdom Hearts has always done it even before the time of DLC packs, so yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah.
So, but the one thing that I'm kind of scared about is the idea of like them believing, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's been working for them before. They keep doing that type of design philosophy. But I definitely believe that at base, we should have something like Omega chunky. And then when we get DLC, it's, it doesn't finish off what Kingdom Hearts 4 is. It leads into like what's like beyond, what's over the bend, right? That's why I want them to consider when designing stuff like that.
Absolutely. And one thing I do have to say that does actually irk me about Remind for Kingdom Hearts 3, it's fantastic. And I think I've mentioned this before, I just really hate how the additional content is separated from like the base game. Like, I kind of understand the Remind story scenario. That's probably the only way.
That it has its own menus and shit.
But like you've got to like press what was it, like X, and then you press square to like go into the DLC
episode.
It feels disjointed. Like I don't like that at all. If you could just make like
I do not like that.
Interact with. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. That's just like one very minor thing. Hopefully they like connect it all for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Like, just take, because Xenoblade Chronicles does it in a really interesting way, where the DLC, if it's gonna take you somewhere else. Did you sneeze? Bless you.
No, I'm just coughing the ring out.
Oh, bless you.
Blood of dust, bro.
What Xenoblade does is that if there's an area in the DLC that takes you to somewhere else, they just drop like a warp point on the world, right? So it's like seamless,
easy,
unless it's a completely different story. Like if it's future connected, if it's future redeemed, or if it's Torna, then that's like completely different characters, different stuff in it. So like other adventure. But Remind did not need that. Like Remind, they could have dropped like one of those what do you call it? Waypoints, the purple waypoint things. Yeah, they could have just dropped that at the Keyblade Graveyard. It's like, oh, Remind scenario, go in. Shit like that.
Yeah, it's just like one minor thing that irks me. It kind of makes it feel like disjointed, you know, like the seamless thing of adding this new area into Kingdom Hearts 2 FM, which was the Cavern of Remembrance, then you have the Garden of Assemblage. That was really cool. You had to explore this like new area to get to the new thing. So if it was sort of a situation like that somehow, I mean, I know there's the time skip, but again, like you could use the portal system or something. I don't know. I just felt like a little bit disjointed and odd, and I cannot explain the amount of times that I've tried to load into the main game and the save file is a DLC save file, and I accidentally then load into the DLC area, and I'm like, fuck's sake, now I've got to go back to the main menu, reload, and press the right button. It's like, no, I shouldn't be doing this.
Sky said in the chat, where he's like, well, you just want to go to the worlds, but then you boot up the garden by accident. They're like, no, I want to be here.
I mean, that is literally it, the amount of times I've done that. Yeah, it's insane. It pisses me off, man.
Like, it's funny because my dumbass always looks down on the controller where it's like, press square, press X for this. I'm like, all right, I like that. It shocks me so much when I see that. I'm like, all right, which one's square and which one's X again? Because I don't want to hit the wrong button.
No, exactly, to a T. Exactly. No, that's it.
Crazy. Oh my goodness. Before we continue, I want to give some shout-outs real quick to some subarinos that subbed during the stream. Just Works, thank you so much for the resub. And then we also have, what do you call it? Lord. All right, wait. The Scuffery. All right. Baka Johnny, thank you so much for the sub using Prime.
Hey, Baka Johnny!
Yeah. Hey, Soulblade, thank you so much for resubbing for 95 months.
Let's
and
go.
then okay, yeah, so that's the ones we got so far. All right, I know technology is hard, you guys. So speaking on that, when it comes to how you're able to get from point A to point B in Kingdom Hearts games, let's go down the idea once again for the 50 millionth time, worlds for Kingdom Hearts 4, but not worlds choice. But let's have a conversation of how you believe we can get from one world to the next if we're going to use Quadratum as a hub. Since we're talking about, the Garden of Assemblage and, the fact that they could just drop portals if they were to do DLC in Kingdom Hearts 3, but they didn't. So how do you think we're going to get from point A to point B in terms of world traversal in Kingdom Hearts 4?
Yeah, so like, I mean, we know almost 0% basically of the laws of Quadratum. So like, we don't even know if there's like an oceans between, like space that exists within that realm, or like how that works. But like something that I've kind of envisioned is like having Quadratum as this sort of like semi-open world. And basically there are those like portals at different locations around the city of Quadratum that like link you to another world. That being said, like, perhaps maybe once you've activated that portal, it could be like the dive system or something, because I don't know, like, is Sora going to hire out a Audi gummy ship or something from the dealership down the road or something like that? Like, where would he get his ship from? But it's kind of hard to know without knowing like the laws of how that universe operates, and how like different worlds are sort of laid out in a physical space. That's a really interesting thing I've thought about. Yeah, it's like, how's that gonna work?
Exactly. I mean, there's been a lot of avenues of discussion and whatnot in terms of how it could work mechanically in the game and, of course, story-wise. I've seen a couple of people in the chats saying the idea of the astral plane that is going to be introduced or was introduced already in Missing Link, right? Which, I mean, it could be a really good way to set that up, considering that Missing Link, I really hope that the game is going to come out before 4, right? So like, the concept of the astral plane, it was a way for them to tackle the outside world that was kind of lost to time, because that's kind of like the point of Missing Link. It is the Missing Link, the chapter that has been lost to time, that is like a hidden, hidden adventure. So with that in mind, like, I mean, I feel that's a very valid aspect, but then also another thing, because now that we've both played and beaten the game, I felt that, like, something tells me that the director for Venitas was trying to like beat Nomura to the punch in the idea that like, opening up the wind gates is how you get from like world to world from like actually Shibuya. Yeah.
And that's the like exact system that I've sort of like pictured, like how the wizard gates work within Venitas' rendition of Shibuya would be like maybe a similar thing. I mean, that's the only thing I can really think about without knowing how the universe itself works. But like, we have heard that basically Quadratum is going to operate as this base of operations, and that you'll be returning to go back to like the room and stuff, and it sounds like you spend a bit of time going back and forward. So like, if that is the case, like, is Quadratum literally the almost like, I don't know, kind of like Scala at Kylum, how it's like the nexus of all worlds, the spring of all worlds, and how they all like are interconnected to that one world and they branch off of that. So yeah, I don't know, it's so many curious aspects, like, and this is why Kingdom Hearts 4 is like so exciting, is because all of these tropes and systems that we've become so used to knowing and expecting thrown out the window. This is totally different, baby. This is like, there's going to be a lot of familiar Words English! There's gonna be a lot of familiar stuff. I'm not even gonna attempt the fancy version of it because it's too difficult for me, apparently. There we go.
Jesus
Thank you,
Christ.
dude. What would I do without you? Fuck me. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like familiar stuff. It's still very much gonna be Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like there's also like this is the chance for them to really like take on that evolution. Not quite to the same degree as like God of War took on, but I kind of view it as an almost similar type of situation. How it's like a lot of different, but yet still kind of same-ish. But again, not to the same degree as God of War 2018, but in the realm.
So
Yeah.
like I definitely get what you're saying, and then there's like a whole like I feel there's a whole can of worms to like open up on the idea of how Sora can get from point A to point B in from Quadratum to a world, because I mean Tetsuya Nomura has like alluded to it in interviews.
Yeah.
That was it was affecting me too. What are words?
Yeah.
So it was alluding to the idea is like, oh, if Sora goes back to a regular Disney ass world, he'll get his appearance back, right? And then in the trailer itself for Kingdom Hearts 4, it's like, oh, if this isn't the ending you want, just open up your like open your heart, go to another world, but don't expect to go back to the world you came from.
Yeah,
so I
that's
feel on the story aspect that Sora going through the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be more on the idea of a journey trying to get back home, right? Because he's gonna try to go to a world, he's gonna like basically roll the dice on it, and then he's gonna end up in Black Cauldron. Roll the dice again, he ends up in Treasure Planet, and so on and so forth, right? But then what was interesting that you said before about the idea of Quadratum and how it works or functions compared to what we've known with Kingdom Hearts before is that I feel Quadratum is going to be one complete world, because I feel that world didn't go through what the world went through in Kingdom Hearts. It never experienced a Keyblade Wars. There is no darkness, so there was no reason for it to break apart, right? So in contrast to what we're used to, Quadratum is whole, but then we're able to still go to worlds because Sora's trying to get back. So he's like, phasing in and out of like unreality to reality by various means, but in accordance with the punishment that he went through, he's not gonna be able to go back to like Destiny Islands or maybe even a world he's been to before, right? And I feel like a key playmaker in that is the idea of him utilizing a power that is a combined effort between him and Strelitzia. I feel Strelitzia is going to be the literal key that allows him to try and traverse worlds, being whether if she turns out to be the true dandelion, her own powers and whatnot. But like she is going to be incredibly important to the story, and I feel like she's going to be the key to how Sora traverses from Quadratum to somewhere else. And then it's funny because some people in the chat were saying like, oh, every time he goes to a new world, he goes on a date with Strelitzia, right? And then it's funny because I brought up that notion as a hee hee ha ha, like, oh, Sora goes on a little date with Strelitzia in the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 4 in order for her to show him around Quadratum. It's like, oh, there's the shop, there's where you go to eat, there's where you go upgrade your Keyblade, blah 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 blah, this that all that stuff. And that's like basically like she acts as the tutorial in the beginning of the game by you guys having a little date in Quadratum. And then funny enough about that, I just wanted to bring this up randomly. On that video that I made that point, people got mad at me, right? They're like, no, Sora is not dating Strelitzia. Sora's dating Kairi. Sora's dating Riku. I'm like, guys, I didn't mean date like that. Like date as in like a date.
Like a friend outing.
A friend outing. Like y'all need to understand there's such things as platonic dates. Right? It's like, hey, let's go to a movie. It's a date. It's like, oh, let's make a date out of it. Right? Like, Lord, like I was getting flamed. And I'm like, guys, I'm not
that's really interesting. That almost like screams the Final Fantasy VII shipping.
Oh, it's not that. It wasn't that bad, but like it wasn't that horrible, but it was still pretty bad. And I'm like, guys, I literally had no romantic undertones in that statement. So
no.
Don't kill me, please.
Yeah,
like I do not
care.
It's
Kingdom Hearts, man. Like, yeah, exactly.
So
I can totally see that. And it almost seems as if just from the trailer that we have for Kingdom Hearts 4, like that's kind of how the tutorial will work, with her explaining certain things, and then we'll like walk around the streets, and then out of nowhere the dark side will like appear, and she's like, oh shit, fuck, I don't have a Keyblade anymore, but like you do, and he's like, what? I've got amnesia, I don't remember how to use it, and then it comes out. Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
I really don't like the angle that a lot of people are presenting the idea of Sora losing his memories in for Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm like, I honestly would hate that. Don't do that. Like, no. But definitely on the aspect, it's like, oh, let me use the Keyblade, and then it's like, oh wow, a lot of my powers aren't working. It's time to relearn, right? Shit like that.
Yeah.
Because he got level 1'd again.
Absolutely, and there's always a reason.
Yep, always a reason.
Always a reason. The power reset.
Right.
You're right.
So in that sense, I feel that it'll be really, really cool to have Strelitzia running around with Sora, showing him aspects like at the point where like, oh, she is a party member when you're in Quadratum, right? And in that sense, like other party members when you're in Quadratum, I'm like, listen, I need my boy Ben back, Benjamin Diskin, young
100%.
Xehanort. In
100%.
Quadratum.
It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. It has to happen.
It has to happen, man.
That artwork is there for a reason. That is the most.
That's Mia Shita Park, bro, in Shibuya.
Yeah. Absolutely. And don't go like inputting this 14th existence without it like meaning anything.
Right? Come on, man. And then people are like,
exactly.
But if he died, how can he come back? There's two big ways. And then like it's funny, one other way I literally was referencing in yesterday's stream where how can he come back? Well, I mean, Quadratum is like, is he dead? I'm like,
it's
yeah,
the
so let me tell you.
underworld.
Right, let me tell you about Quadratum. Quadratum is kind of like that place, Right, so that's one. And then two, the idea that, he's able to remanifest himself using that one piece that Xigbar is still holding on to theoretically. Because like Xigbar still has one piece of Xehanort in him because he never died.
Right.
And then like, he remanifests using that. The same, like in a similar way how the Master is able to jump through time.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be some reason, some standard Kingdom Hearts bullshit that will like explain it.
Right. Nah, I'm excited.
No, but I need that 100%. Like to have young Xehanort back would be incredible. And if we can just kind of keep Ben hanging around Kingdom Hearts, whether it is for Xehanort or like another character, who knows? But yeah, that would be so sick.
Right. Speaking on the idea of returns for Kingdom Hearts 4, because like I've seen this conversation ever since. Like it's so funny. The Kingdom Hearts 4 conversation reached a really like a hot point yesterday because of the Nomura drop, right? And speaking of returns, we already talked about the concept of young Xehanort. Who are people that you want to see back in Kingdom Hearts 4? Whether it be like, a wild card idea or like someone you expect, because there's been a lot of conversations about that.
I mean, like Marluxia, I would love to see.
Absolutely, I knew you were gonna go to that first.
Yeah, 100%. Like with Strelitzia there and stuff, it kind of makes like a lot of sense. And whether or not that's just simply via like a ghost or a flashback or like something like that, I'd be fine with. But I can definitely see that. I think the big one that would absolutely like make people foam at the mouth would obviously be Cloud and Sephiroth.
Yes.
In some form, they ended up in Quadratum after their fight in Kingdom Hearts 2 somehow or something like that. And I think that would be like a massive pull from a marketing perspective.
Oh yeah,
Hearts
absolutely.
4 as well. To have them return would be just a big deal.
Every time someone brings up that conversation, I'm like, take it a step further. All right, Cloud is in Quadratum, Sephiroth's in Quadratum, but like when you got there, Sephiroth broke into pieces.
That's right. The Advent Children's story, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The remnants of Sephiroth. Give me Laws. Ella keeps like butchering me for this because I keep fucking up one of their names. So I know it's Kadaj, Laws, and Yazoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I think I always mess up like Yuzu. I say Yuzu sometimes, and I'm like, no, yeah, Kadaj, Laws, and Yazoo. Right?
I can see that. Yeah.
So bring them back, make them separate bosses, have its own little side quest. And then at the end of the side quest, he comes back as Sephiroth and let's get it.
It's too perfect to have like the three of them as these mini fights that are still pretty tough. And you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then for the final, like after all three have been defeated, you meet back in Quadratum like with Cloud, and like Cloud's an actual party member, and you verse like Sephiroth. Holy fucking shit!
And I'm telling you, man, Kingdom Hearts' version of Avalanche in Quadratum.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Tifa follows Cloud to Quadratum, and Barrett was there the whole time.
whole time. Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. It just makes too much sense.
Please, more. But on the idea of other returning characters, I mean, of course, there are some like characters that are kind of like a no-brainer. Like we already confirmed Strelitzia, Yozora, his crew, Luke Sword. And then a lot of people are like possibly of Demix, and I'm like, I agree, because I mean, like, we know next to nothing about this guy. But then other key players that I feel like is like a very big deal that I feel people don't talk about enough is, and I would 100% believe he's gonna show up, Venitas. Like, he has to show up.
Venitas, right? Yeah. I think that like at some point there'll be the congregation of all 13 of those darknesses, and I think in that sense, like, it's just inevitable that like Venitas will come back in some form, whether or not it is Kingdom Hearts 4 or like later on in the saga, who knows. But I think that's just like an inevitable thing. I think like at some point they will be like the absolute pinnacle of like the ultimate final villains of the series in some form. So yeah, I could see Venitas. Also, I feel like this is more of a missing link thing. But who knows? Odin. Like, we know that like Odin just mysteriously disappeared at the end of Dark Road, and I feel like we'll get some context as to like what happened with him in Missing Link. We also know we kind of think like his bloodline is there as the eyes of Odin, all that kind of thing. But like
Hugin and Munin, like the two characters that like I feel reference Hugin and Munin. But
that's
then,
right.
I'm also, and guys, I'm telling you, Jared, I'm telling you. All right, just remember this. Luke Sword is Loki. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. The mischievous, conniving, back planning, it just fits for Luciu's entire.
No, not Luciu.
Oh, sorry,
Luke Sword. I meant Luke Sword.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say Luciu or?
No, you said Luxord.
Okay, all right, my bad.
It's just that you pronounce his like new era name, and I cannot get used to that at all.
Bro. Like, I had to I was telling Fifi the other day, I'm like, I had to retrain myself to like say it, because like every time I get these like actual like pronunciation names after saying a certain name so long, I'm like, God,
right, yeah.
like,
I just can't.
I can't I can't argue with you because that's your name, so I can't say like, hey, my name's Johnny. It's like, no,
I totally get it.
Like,
no, I totally get it. But like, fuck, I had to do a quadruple take when the actual pronunciation came out. I'm like, excuse me, who, what?
And that really like it hit me like a truck, because I was like, we did not hear his name before.
No, and that's the bizarre thing, right? For like all those years.
Crazy. But Sky also says the Final Fantasy character that appears in the fighting arena. All right, my pick, if there's gonna be a fighting arena in Quadratum, like in the Tokyo Dome, whatever, my pick, Lightning. What about you?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, I like that. I feel like it's one of like Nomura's iconic designs, so it kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, there's actually. And I don't know, it might just be a shot, but there's actually like a billboard in Quadratum in the Kingdom Hearts 3 version known as like Diamond Arena.
Yeah.
And I've kind of always thought like, ooh, maybe.
That's it. That's where we're going.
Yeah, I don't know, like in sense of that, I was gonna say Noctis real quick, but I'm like, oh fuck, no, that's Yozora. There's no way Yozora will like ever get into the game.
Oh man. But watch all of those billboards that we see in Quadratum, just like they're all gonna have meaning when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, like brand clothes and shit.
Bro, I'm telling you, Traverse Coffee.
What was the other one? Vamp Kings.
Vamp Kings, with the graffiti style.
That's Yozora's clothing brand. That's his brand.
Yeah, that's right. And then there's that really like it almost looks like Neku's like design and lower half, which is really interesting on like one of the billboards. And you've also got like Panacea as well. That's there
was a D-Link Coffee or Dream Coffee or some shit like that.
Yeah, D-Link with the Meow Wow.
Yeah. And then there was also the For Less store, and I'm like, yo, because it's funny because that sign is in Remind and in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to that store. I need to see what they're selling for less. Like,
Absolutely, that's it. No, sorry, I meant to say Libra. So Libra is correct me if I'm wrong, but Libra is a way of like analyzing different things like in Final Fantasy, right? I always kind of get them mixed up if it's like a panacea effect, but I think Libra is like
Libra? Yeah, Libra is a spell that
it's
sometimes
a spell that
I
like
think,
you can analyze.
It's
like,
an
the
ability,
stats.
yeah. So yeah, it's an ability. Yeah.
Oh, okay, wait. Targets.
Yes,
current,
it is scan
view the
people or
target's
intel. Yeah.
current. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's like a wristwatch or something in that world, which is super cool. Yeah,
Wait, is it pronounced Libra? Don't do this to me.
No.
You know, it's Libra, like liberate, like Libra, like to read, like a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
gotta be Libra.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
like the
like
Star
it's not
Spangled.
Libra. We're not doing this Luke Sword hanky panky and a banana bullshit again. All right. Oh my god.
Oh, it's too good. Yeah, Crescent Next is the Neku one that I was talking about.
Oh, okay,
Crescent
alright.
Next.
Man, what if they like
There's a whole
throw in
bunch of
Jupiter of
stuff.
the Monkey?
I know, yeah, like one of the brands pop up. My god.
Oh man.
My god. The other thing that I am really intrigued about, right, and this has been like a major curiosity, is all of the Scarlet Kylum language that is like plastered all across Quadratum, which is super strange. Is that like the Master of Masters' influence on the world or something like that? But that is something that is just completely bizarre. That is like the language, the same language.
Yep.
There's actually a mix though of both that language along with another one as well that is more like shape oriented, which does appear on like a lot of the billboards and stuff, almost reminiscent of like the language that can be found within Twilight Town, which is really interesting.
You know,
But yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I really need that Scala language to get like an official like translation because I want tattoos like from that. Like,
I know. The sheet
Right.
is getting pretty close to completion. There is like a group of people that are quite dedicated, but we don't actually know if it's like
one-to-one exactly. You know, because I like, you know, I respect the work, but I don't want to go off of that just in case like there is an official
No, I
translation
think
that comes out later.
it's smart to wait for like an Ultimania or something, and Nomura
Yeah.
like throws it in randomly or something. Yeah,
So
that's right. Can't wait. Oh, there's so many mysteries, man. I think this is like the most exciting Kingdom Hearts has like genuinely ever been in regards to its narrative.
absolutely.
The inclusion of the Master of Masters more than 10 years ago was just simply genius. It's pretty crazy to think that it's been 12 years now since he was first introduced, and we still really know fuck all about this guy.
Yo, I'm mummifying right now. Don't do that to me. I'm like, damn.
I know,
it
it's
has
crazy. It's
been
like
more than 10 years.
2013 Kingdom Hearts Key, right? That
Yeah.
was his introduction. So it's been like, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
It's almost been 10 years. You know what? Actually, yeah, no, it's gonna be 8 years this year since we first seen the box,
Yes,
and we
that's right.
still know like fuck all about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like Nomura been planting seeds for a while.
Man, I just like I feel like, you know, it's cool to like to have that mystery exist this long, but at the same time I feel that the legend of the box itself is going to get bigger than what actually gets revealed to be in it.
So, yeah, absolutely. No, for sure. And I think that's like the natural thing that occurs when you like stretch something out for so long. It also grows expectations as well. So I only hope that like Nomura really truly can deliver. You know, what if it's like a scenario? Have you seen Lost?
Yes.
Have you seen all of Lost?
I know what the ending is. I know how it ends.
So
All right.
there is like, so it's not quite the ending, but like there's a situation in Lost where there's a box and like a character is like alive, and then they open this box up and it's the character that is currently alive walking around, but it's the same person in the box, and we're all like, what the fuck? Wait a minute, hold on a minute, wait, so then who's this Sora? Something like that would just be like fucking mind-boggling.
That will be crazy. It
Yeah.
sounds a little bit like how they did the universe boxes in Futurama. a little bit.
Oh, see, I'm not quite versed up with Futurama.
Oh, it's a hilarious episode. So like there was a whatchamacallit, there was an episode where the scientist like produces these boxes, but then it turns out that each box has a universe that is like correlated to their universe. Like it's like a multiverse, but it's very consistent in which all these boxes contain a version of their reality but different. And then they end up swapping the boxes afterwards because they find like a universe that's like really, really close to theirs. It's really funny. So like if you ever just want a quick laugh, watch that episode. It's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But on that note, with the idea of multiverse, it's so funny how okay, when people say that Kingdom Hearts is technically a multiverse, I'm like, it wasn't up until now. No, because it's multiverse because of you go to the different worlds. I'm like there's a lot of indicators and notes and stuff from the Ultimatums that suggest that these from how we see their planet, the worlds are planetoids. They're stars that you can see out in the sky. You can see them. It's it's hard to get from point A to point B, but it's not like you're shifting between realities. But each world does contain its own set of rules, which is is just the basis of its own thing. And remember, these worlds used to be connected, so them being split apart doesn't create a multiversal plane. It's just like they're planets in the sea of stars. Oh shit, right? But then
they're all from the same place as well.
Exactly, yeah.
They all stemmed from Daybreak Town. The Big Bang happened, and then now there's been multiple worlds and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
right. And then now with Kingdom Hearts, with the introduction of unreality, fiction, now we can say it's a multiverse because now we actually have two universes. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know, the whole talk about multiverse and stuff, especially when we relate it to Kingdom Hearts, I always think about the power scaler or the power scaling arguments for Sora. How strong is Sora? And he's multiversal, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? That I hate when people say, oh, the strength of a character is that he's multiversal. I'm like, what do you mean multiversal? You have to be specific.
Yeah.
He's able to traverse multiverse. I'm like, all right, cool, but that doesn't pertain to a person's strength. It's like, oh, multiverse busting. I'm like, okay, is Sora multiverse busting? No. Then I feel like it's like a scapegoat kind of argument point, to prove someone's incredibly strong or something. It just kind of doesn't really make sense to me. Exactly.
Yeah, he's multiversal basically now. Yeah. How that's gonna pan out, who knows?
So,
but we know he's weak. He's gonna be level 1. So.
I know. I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 4, him being level 1, him being Quadratum, that I just feel it in my bones that this is gonna be an early narrative point that he's gonna be hunted down, right? He's gonna be hunted down by Yozora
and thrown around.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I feel that Let's is able to use her Keyblade, but chooses not to because that is what gives her location away. And then Sora doing it the dark side happens in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. He gets his Keyblade, fights the dark side, but then Yozora's Keyblade tracker ding ding ding. It's all right there. He's in Shibuya. Get him. Go get him. And I feel that's
so do you? How much screen time do you think we'll get of Yozora in Kingdom Hearts 4?
I hope a lot. I really hope a lot. Enough to say that he would be either the deuteragonist or the tritagonist, or whatever, the tri one, the
got you.
Yeah, the third guy. Yeah,
the third guy in the trio
in the
main
story.
Characters. Yeah. Do you think it will be a scenario that of how we always have the dive to heart sequence? Do you think that Kingdom Hearts 4's dive to heart sequence will be Yozora's and similar to H2? We'll start that way?
I would absolutely love that, and I would adore that. Please give me that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's I like how you brought up Kingdom Hearts 2, exactly that. Sora is sleeping, but then Yozora, his being somehow connected to Sora, experiences his dream, right? Because that's kind of what happened.
Restoration complete.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened at the end of her mind, right? So he's experiencing his dream, but then Yozora lands on Sora's Station of Awakening, and then he does that.
And that somehow kind of that beginning prologue then links into Yozora Sora, sorry, while he's in the sleep into the Station of Awakening moment with the secret episode, and like obviously we experience Yozora's side of that. Imagine if like fucking like Sora's like the dark side fight for Yozora's
That'd be
heart
crazy,
or
right?
something. Really insane like that, yeah.
Yeah, like he's battling Sora, and then like imagine this. He fights Sora during that segment, like he did in what do you call him? Remind, right? And he beats him, and then he's trying to crystallize him like he did in Remind, but during the crystallization, and also guys, I'm completely riffing. I just thought of this like a whole rip, right? So he's trying to crystallize Sora because he beat him, and it's like, oh, why is he trying to crystallize him again? As he's crystallizing, Sora, not willing to back down, goes into a rage form, right? Fights Yozora during rage form, and then from rage form turns into a dark side during that segment, and Yozora fights that dark side like we always do in the beginning of a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, 100%. 100. I could see it. I could see it.
Give me that.
It needs to happen though. I feel like they're gonna take a lot from Kingdom Hearts 2 because 2 + 2 = 4, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That's a good start. We got the reaction commands and whatnot. But if it were to be able to kind of mirror the way that KH2 started, that would be like really cool. And I feel like, with all of the seeds that have been planted for Yozora, it would be strange not to have at least a partial focus on him, both at the beginning and segments towards the end. As we know, Nomura did want to call the game Verum Rex, but decided Kingdom Hearts 4 because it's more to do with Sora, so the main focus will absolutely still be Sora. I still feel like Verum Rex will be a title that comes maybe between 4 and 5 or something like that, where it is primarily focused on Yozora and his story, origin, whatever it might be. But yeah, I feel the same. I think that there will be like a pretty decent focus on that character.
Yo, like how crazy would it be if, because I've been playing a lot of Yakuza 0 lately, and how crazy would it be if Kingdom Hearts 4 like followed a similar design scenario where you kind of like it, depending on where the story is, you play Sora for a minute, and then like basically Dream Job Distance but better, right? Where you play Sora for a minute, but then you swap to Yozora, play his story out for a little bit, swap back to Sora and whatnot, and then like taking cues from Yakuza 0 or Spider-Man 2, right? I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, quite a few games do that, right? Where it's like you'll play as one character for like 2 hours, and then you'll finish that chapter, and then chapter 2 is like the next character or something like that. Yeah, that would be cool. Again, though, like in order to have that, I mean, I guess they kind of did that a little bit with Kingdom Hearts 3, where it like switches over to Riku for like 5 seconds.
Right.
And
then
I could see that like similar fashion
second.
to that. I don't know if it'll be a full-on like, all right, for the next 3 hours we're playing as like Yozora or something like that, and then going back and forth, DDD style.
Right.
But yeah, maybe for like 5 seconds like Riku or something.
No. Give Yozora his time in the sun. It's his time's now. This is his game. Like, it's crazy to think that like we're in this point in time with Kingdom Hearts, that it is Kingdom Hearts 4, but it's a new series, a new arc where, like we said earlier, everything we know about Kingdom Hearts is again thrown out the window. It's time for new stories, new elements, new passion. But then I see a lot of people like, oh, but bring this back. I'm like, yeah, I get bringing back stuff is good, especially when it comes to like mechanics, like reaction commands or whatnot. But then also new mechanics like build and scrape, whatever that is. Gets me really excited. But then I'm also like, if I had to choose what I'm more excited for is the advent of the new, right? That's why I'm really excited to see where Kingdom Hearts 4 goes in terms of its mechanics, its story, its characters and whatnot. I know a lot of people don't want to say goodbye to certain characters, and trust me, like Roxas is my favorite Kingdom Hearts character of all time, but I like consider where the story is and where it could be going. I heavily doubt he's gonna show up, right? There's like possibly characters that do show up from the past that still have an avenue to explore in terms of their story, like Elrena, Lorium, Ventus, from past characters, but like characters like Aqua, Terra, Lee. I mean, maybe not Lee and Aiza, because considering that they're connected to Subject X, and I feel Subject X is going to be important.
Yeah.
Moving forward, so they could show up again, right? So it's really like, I think it's a coin toss of what we can expect in terms of what is new and what will be returning from the old, right?
Yeah, I feel like the screen time's probably going to be handed off more to like the key era characters. So any of the ones that like appeared throughout there. I still think we'll have like the cameos and like looking at again Lee and all of that, like with the Subject X connection, there'll be something there. But whether or not it's going to be like to the same degree as like the first saga, yeah, I don't know, a little bit doubtful. Well, who knows? Like anything could happen. I think that's the exciting thing. Is like there's just so many different avenues and paths the story can take right now, where it's just like the absolute kind of great unknown. We've got an idea, but like we think we've got an idea. Do we actually have an idea? Who knows? Exactly right. Like who knows?
It's funny. I see people talk about like the idea of Riku, being playable in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm telling y'all guys, Riku's gonna show up in Quadratum. Yozora's gonna see him, beat the ever-living daylights out of him, and capture his ass, and then like, we gotta save Riku.
That's it. Yeah. Tables turned.
Oh yeah. Because like, Riku, the Keyblade master, he's on his way, right? And then, bro, in the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret movie, Yozora's the one who's like eyeing down Riku. Nah, he's waiting. Like, Yozora's gonna give him the absolute corporation.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. I think I'm all Riku'd out right now in terms of playing as him. Obviously, he's going to be important in the story moving forward because we've seen with the secret movie and the trailers and stuff. But playing as Riku is like, nah. If Riku gets his own game,
wait, you're not keen?
I'm not. Like, I rather like for Kingdom Hearts 4 specifically.
Right.
I rather have Riku playable in his own game that is in the Lost Master arc. Right?
Absolutely. I think at this point too, like
hello? Jared? Hello? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Hello? Alright, I'm gonna restart the call, you guys. Hold on. Alright. Hello? Alright, hello? Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up? Did I just get digitized?
Dude, you got sent to the no-no zone.
Did I just get digitized?
It was crazy. You were like we could not understand. You're like, like it was like dial up from the 90s.
Oh man, I just got like Wally. Damn,
yo,
Mom's on the phone again.
AOL version 2.0. All right, so like, start from the beginning again.
No, I was basically just saying that yeah, there is, like, in regards to Riku and Yozora, there is some very clear, obvious, like, overlaps and connections. Some intentional design choices that are going on. Some seeds that have been dropped, with Donald being like, oh, it looks like Riku, blah, 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 or whatever. Yeah. And, like, putting the two of them side by side, oh my god, it's uncanny. It is completely uncanny.
It is, and I feel there's reason behind that, and I'm like, hey, listen, I don't mind Yozora being Sora's Riku for the time being when he's in Quadratum, right? Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, over on YouTube, I see there's those talking about the idea of Demix. It's funny because we did bring up Demix earlier on the stream, and the reason why no one's talking about him is because we actually know nothing about this man. So I'm like, listen, I would love to talk about him. I think Demix is cool. I think it's hilarious, but what's there to talk about? There was that theory running around though. I saw recently because of the whole Crossroads thing that happened. Yeah, the sitar, and making a deal with the devil for like fame or ability to play the guitar. And a sitar is not a guitar, but it is a string instrument, right? So, I swear to God, if Demix turns out to be like the devil, like that would be crazy. But nah, he would have to make a deal. Like he made a deal with someone if they're gonna continue that legend.
Masters,
the Master of Masters.
Something. Yeah, I as we've talked about, like I just really hope he isn't the master or anything like that, because I know a lot of people compare the mannerisms and whatnot. I just hope that like he is his own character, and the whole like ties to the ancient Keyblade legacy.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like he is the final one that we still have no idea about. Whether or not that comes into Missing Link, who knows?
Right.
Or like his time.
I feel like I want to hope that like we learn more about him in what do you call it? Missing Link. I want to hope that's like, you know, an avenue that explores Demix, because you know, up until Kingdom Hearts 3, Demix and Luxor were kind of in the same boat about like we know nothing about them, because we every other organization member got fleshed out in one way or another. Marluxia and Larxene within that of Unicross, and then throughout the Dark Seeker saga of the games itself, you know, we got context to Ansem the Wine's apprentices, Lee and Isa, all that stuff. So like for the longest, it was Luxord and Demix that stuck out, and then we got the big bombshell about Luxord, how he potentially could be from Quadratum. And so like the last one standing is Demix, and like, who are you? And then you know what doesn't help? His entry in character files does not help. The fact that he's like referencing, "Oh, may your heart be your guiding key." I'm like,
that's right.
I'm like, how do you know that? You're not. How do you know that?
That's kind of like where, again, like the legacy, the ancient Keyblade legacy links in, but then potentially like the theory on like made a deal with the devil, Master of Masters saying it to him. Because like I feel like the Master of Masters is always the one to introduce that saying. Whether or not he was the one that actually like came up with it, who knows? But he's generally the one that introduces it like to people. That's at least how Xehanort knows about it, right? So
right. Because I mean, that would be crazy to think about how like, the context to Demix is that, what did he give up? Like, if he's tied to the ancient Keyblade legacy, then like, you know, riff off riff, where Demix probably at one point in whatever timeline learned what the Keyblade was, or was just weak in general, right? And then met with the Master of Masters at the Crossroads, and then made a deal with the Master Master. Because I mean, like someone like the Master Masters, I feel like that person can make anyone a Keyblade wielder, right? So then he makes Demix a Keyblade wielder, which in turn could tie him to the ancient Keyblade legacy. And then he tells him oh, may your heart be your guiding key. And then that's how Demix went from like, what do you call it, being weak to like, oh, now I'm a Keyblade wielder, or like I now can have my powers to be on easy street, and then gets roped into the organization, blah 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 blah. Maybe at some point loses his memories. That's why he's like, oh, who told me your heart may your heart be your guiding key? Who told me that? And then it was really the Master Masters who kind of like probably marked him. But then it goes into the idea that like, okay, if the Master Masters was the one who instilled the ancient Keyblade legacy within Demix in some way, shape, or form, what did Demix give up in exchange? And then that goes into the idea, it's like, is like, you know, the Master Masters, is Demix a secret pawn for the Master of Masters for him to use or keep in his pocket till later? That's just like, that's... absolutely. And it seems like that did happen. I'm just, because it's been a while since I've read over the character files, so I've actually just got Demix's right here, but it does say... talking about like, but yeah, it's just like he was always saying, you know, the may your heart be your guiding key guy. So that, I mean, like that just screams like he's had some kind of an interaction with the Master of Masters at some point, and the Master is using him for some reason. And again, it's that whole transaction thing. Okay, like, did Demix get something? Did the Master get something? What was traded? With this new inkling that we got. Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. Oh my god, man! Nomura, you did that shit on purpose, man. Like
he's like in typical Demix fashion. He's like, hey, but wait, what's it supposed to be guiding me to again, though, man? Like, what the fuck? He still is like clueless as ever. I love it. Like, Demix is so good,
man. But I honestly don't want him to be the Master of Masters.
No, I don't. Honestly, reading over this again, it doesn't come across as him being the Master of Masters. Unless, like, I don't know, that's what Tetsuya Nomura, like, wants us to think. I don't know, but it seems like Demix is literally his own character. And it's been a hot minute since I've read through these. The last time I read through them was, like, when they first came out. Was it 2020?
Really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I saw a really interesting question in the chat about from Shattered Mirror. We know about Masters is the first and oldest. His Keyblade is the first and oldest, but why did he get it and how is the question. So from everything that we've like understood is that the Master of Masters is the first Keyblade wielder. That I want to like theorize and speculate that at some point that he came into contact with Kingdom Hearts and the Keyblade, studied it because I mean like he's obviously a researcher at heart, as you can see by his antics. He found the Keyblade, studied it, and learned how to, you know, make more. So like every other Keyblade in existence, like he like not every other Keyblade in existence, but the initial batch he made, and then he passed down those Keyblades, and then maybe passed down the art of forging Keyblades, so that more and more Keyblades get made to be handed down. Because young Xehanort actually insinuates that in the added cutscene for Recoded, right? So I really believe that, like, okay, way before even the before times of Union Cross, before that, and like maybe in the time before the universe, before Daybreak Time, blah blah blah. The point is, in the earliest known time of Kingdom Hearts and the Keyblade, the Master of Masters came across it, was able to figure out how it works, and then built more Keyblades in its image, because that's how the legend goes initially. But then like now we can attach the Master of Masters to it. So that's like, oh, where do you get it from? Oh, because he made it. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Like looking at you know, like the Kingdom Key, that would be classified as a, I'd have to imagine like a natural Keyblade that is like a component directly tied to Kingdom Hearts, and same with like the Keyblade.
right.
I don't think those would really have anything to do with the Master of Master, or at least stemming from the Master of Master. So I think there is that thing of like, you've got almost artificial, they're still Keyblades and stem through the power of one's heart and all that kind of thing, but then you've got ones that are like quite literally tied to the essence of Kingdom Hearts itself.
Because like I do believe on the idea that the Kingdom Key and the Kingdom Key and the Kingdom Key D are naturally forming, because they are like, you know, tied to the realm of light and tied to the realm of darkness specifically. Right. And then given that these Kingdom Keys are literally just like, you know, the Keyblade looks like what it does because of that. But yeah, and
I do, like, I wonder if, because obviously the Master of Masters, he fucking hates the darknesses. That man just wants to eradicate those darknesses. So I wonder if we will like get, I don't know if it'll be like its own game or if it'll be like certain sequences or whatever, like throughout the next saga, but like
to see the origin of hate,
the very exactly that where that begun, why that begun.
Oh, absolutely.
Is this man just like a purist to the absolute bone? Yeah.
I do want to see some sort of flashback, because like from the legends that have been stated throughout Union Cross and, you know, Dark Road, Missing Link, and Remind, is that he does have an insane level of disdain for the darkness, like as a concept, completely. Like he just wants to, he wants to eradicate it. But then he has these weird conversations with cognitive darknesses, true darknesses, where they refer to each other as quote unquote friends, but I feel that's like kind of like, you know, petty antagonism, like, you know, to like to refer to each other. And then they're both unable to understand each other, because, you know, as a being of light versus a being of darkness, they have completely different ways of thinking, right? And then the Master of Masters confirmed that the darknesses killed a lot of his homies when he was young, right? Because he said that the Keyblade War has always been going on, but back in my day, it was just the war between light and darkness, right? And then, you know, what you call the Keyblade War now, like in my time, it was just, you know, the fighting between beings of light and beings of darkness. And back in the day, according to him, they weren't unlike human beings, but decided to strip off their physical form in order to attack hearts directly, right? And I feel that's all really interesting. And then the fact that this man has put together a plan for like God knows how long in order to not just eradicate darkness as an entity, but darkness as a concept. That's like next level hating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, dude fucking despises the darkness. And that's part of why Quadratum is so attractive to him, is because darkness and light have no distinct control, I suppose, of the way that those worlds work within that universe. As he's explained, this constant cycle of the darknesses swallowing worlds, been sent into the realm of darkness. That is something, at least from what we know so far, that doesn't actually exist within that realm.
Right. And it's gonna be really funny to see how, like, them explaining how it was brought over, right? Because of course that's another mystery in terms of, like, you know,
how the
that
Atlas
concept. It's just like, did the Masters bring it over? Did Sora bring it over, chasing him from the power of the Keyblade, because the Keyblade, you know, acts as a beacon and blah blah blah. But like, it's really interesting because Nomura has been really like busy in terms of fleshing out the concept of darkness, right? Because from the beginning of Kingdom Hearts, like, obviously we've had ideas of what darkness is capable of through the idea of Heartless, through the idea of the realm of darkness, blah blah blah. But then as games go on, Nomura has fleshed out this concept and beings of this nature to, like, you know, make it a lot more nuanced than the ideas like, oh, darkness bad, oh, darkness evil, like, good, like destroy
100%.
Because
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing. Like, I think we were talking with Sarah about this, but there hasn't really been an inherently evil villain throughout Kingdom Hearts. And whether or not we'll actually get that, maybe aside from, like, the true darknesses,
you know what?
the villains have always had, like, a justified reason for kind of what they're doing.
I will say absolutely all of them except one. Yo, Baldur, fuck that dude, man. Like, holy that.
Oh, I absolutely, and that's the
he's
difference.
He's a
Dark
menace,
Road.
bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that was kind of like the first time
Yeah, that was the first time, in my opinion.
Witnessed like just pure batshit evil, insane.
Like, bro,
yeah.
he was counting off his kills. I'm like, this
Yeah,
psycho.
yeah. But again, like, is that some, like, level of that possession over, you know, like, perhaps one of the darknesses, the grip over that person?
Right.
I mean, and again, are they truly the only one inherently evil manifestation or thing within that Kingdom Hearts universe? Because, like, no one's really that bad. Xehanort just wanted balance, but
Exactly.
the things he was doing in order to get that was kind of fucked up, and it's not really up to him.
Yeah. See, like, I for that nuanced conversation, I think people really need to understand there can be a difference between antagonist and evil. And Xehanort is one of those characters. Like, he's not evil.
100%.
He's not evil, but he is the villain and he is the antagonist of the story, but he isn't inherently evil. And when it comes to the case of Baldur, I don't want to give him too much of the benefit of the idea of him being possessed. Definitely influenced, but not possessed.
Yeah.
Nah, that dude was in control and he wanted to be a dickhead. Like, my lord.
Absolutely.
And for people bringing up Maleficent isn't an original Kingdom Hearts creation, so that's why I like, oh, Maleficent doesn't count, because I mean, she is evil because magnificent, malevolent, and like the mistress of all evil from Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about like OG Kingdom Hearts characters.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited. Like, hopefully, she kind of gets, like, more going on, just with sort of what we saw with her and Pete and stuff going on in, like, Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, I don't know if she'll be benched maybe for, like, one game. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited because, like, I don't know, Maleficent and Pete and, like, stuff going on with them is very, for me anyway, it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts nostalgia bait. Like, they were like the face of the villain for like most of Kingdom Hearts 1, and then Kingdom Hearts 2, they're also kind of like there all the time as well. And so to kind of have them just sort of like wandering around and like just spectating, I guess, throughout Kingdom Hearts 3 was like, all right, I see what you're doing. You're planning, you're plotting.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think they're going to be benched for a game because, like, they're the only ones, like, to our knowledge, they're the only ones that are aware that the Lost Masters are back. And that's
right.
a big deal.
That's
right?
huge. That's huge.
Yo, that's crazy how, like Pete was ready to roll up on them, but Muff's like, nah, bro, they'll bust you up like a piñata. Don't do it. Like, man.
How about a taste?
Muff's like holding back Pete. That's crazy. It's like, man. Like,
Pete, use pinball, bro. Use pinball.
Come on, Pete. You're invincible. You got it.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think just like at this point we need. It's been a while. It has been a while. It's crazy to think that in a couple of weeks' time, it's been 6 years, man, since Kingdom Hearts
Man,
3, and that, like, our
don't
entire
say that,
journey,
Yugi.
right? Yeah, our entire journey begun with, like, covering Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, that chapter has well and truly closed. Where is that time gone? It's
What a
kind
journey it
of
was, too.
crazy.
Shit.
Yeah. And I'm just looking forward to, like, that season returning. You know, when we're getting, like, new screenshot drops and, like, the interviews, and we're just, like, indulging in the information. I do hope they have learnt a little bit about the whole showing too much thing. While it does create hype and stuff, I hope they just tone it back just a little bit. I'm not saying, like, substantially show us some, like,
See, there you go.
crazy
I feel
shit.
that's not, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? See, now I'm brain farting. That's not too much to ask, because I'm gonna be real with you guys, and this not me being contrarian or anything. I never felt that, you know. But I like, people complain about it, and I see what they're coming from. But personally, I never felt like I was, like, shown too much or spoiled on Kingdom Hearts 3. But if they scale it back a bit, I'm not gonna complain or not. But then,
yeah, 100%. I just, like,
Yeah.
any in-game sequences should just never, ever, ever. And, like, Square
but,
Enix
like,
have
if
this-
you don't have context,
Have it.
you ain't gonna know what's up.
I mean, like, brother, scenes for, like, slamming the ground crying. I'm like, come the fuck on, dude. Like,
Nah, we
knew
needed
there was
that.
gonna be
I
something,
needed pain. Man. Oh,
No,
my
I'm
goodness.
just excited for that season again, man.
Mhm.
Like, I can't wait. It's been too long. We have been starved. Hey, actually, this is one thing that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So, I have heard through the grapevine, and just with all of the interviews and stuff that's been going on with Katase, and Hamaguchi and stuff,
Yeah.
it does seem as if, and again, heard through the grapevine, that, like, a teaser for Part 3 is actually going to drop this year.
That's crazy. And you know,
Yeah.
I can't believe I glossed over the idea, because I actually wanted to talk to you just a little bit about that. But continue. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, well, like, okay, so I don't know, like, sort of, what's your opinion? Let's say if it is a situation where, like, a teaser drops for Part 3 and we're still in the same boat with Kingdom Hearts 4, like, how will you
Man.
feel about that? That's like, I don't know, almost an entire trilogy
Jesus
of
Christ.
games. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, like, here's the thing. You know, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't particularly hate it, but I will feel some type of way, because I mean,
Yeah.
like, Final Fantasy, like, I get why it could be ready, because I mean, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Rebirth, there's the third one. They are kind of like on top of things in terms of the assets and what they want to do with the game and
That's right.
whatnot. But that would be crazy to think if Part 3 were to come out before Kingdom Hearts 4. But I don't think
I don't think it will. No,
Yeah,
I
don't
see.
think it's
I
gonna.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it will come out before.
Yeah.
But just in regards to, like, talking about a tease or just
Right.
something to do with that game, like, okay, we've already. It's crazy to think we've actually got more written information about Part 3
About
than we
Part
do
3, yep,
Kingdom
mhm.
Hearts 4, which is just, like, bonkers to me. But if a tease were to drop before the next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, because as they say, 2020, I think 2027 is absolutely Part 3, 2026 Kingdom Hearts 4. If it's not
Yeah.
that is, like, completely worrying. Like, absolutely worrying.
I like, if it gets to that point, then I will start, like, turning heads, because I'm like, a lot of people are like, oh man, the wait's horrible. I'm like, as a Zelda fan, I'm like, first time. So I'm like, I'm chilling right now, as long as, like, you know, they're transparent enough with it. I'm chilling. But if it, because I do believe that 5/7 Remake Part 3 is going to be 2027, considering the rumors about Remake and Rebirth coming to Switch 2 this year, and that Rebirth is coming to PC at the end of the month. They're gonna have, like, from that point on, they have to, like, have, like, some downtime to sizzle with Part 3. But I, like, for a teaser before the next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, I'll be fine with it. But I mean, like, it could be possible they show both at, you know, the supposed February event.
Oh, okay. Also, to temper expectations.
Ooh.
Yeah. And people, like, are not gonna like this. I actually haven't talked about this because it's something that I had heard only a couple of nights ago. from talking to this person. But they kind of gave me just a little bit more context, like on the February showcase. And again, I just need to preface, like, please take this with a grain of salt, as it always goes. What I can tell you, this is absolutely someone that is within the industry, and I have seen receipts. So just to kind of provide like a little bit of validity towards that, I do trust this person.
Right.
But they have said that a lot of what they are going to show throughout their showcase will be mainly focused on Switch 2, and that both major Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts reveals will not be present. So in that sense, maybe missing Link, but Kingdom Hearts 4 and anything huge to do with Final Fantasy. I know a lot of people like Final Fantasy 9 remake, bro.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 9 remake. Yeah.
I don't know.
13,
But,
13, not 13-1. No, 10-1. No, yeah, 10-1, 10-2 remake.
13 remaster trilogy,
yeah,
something like that, maybe. But yeah. So it's mainly just like Switch stuff. But like Square Enix, and the reason why this makes so much sense to me is because it's insane. We are currently in a position where we literally have no idea what this company are releasing this year aside from Missing Link, Final Fantasy 14 mobile. Okay, that's 2 mobile games, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake. That is literally it. Like, we don't know anything else aside from that. So they have to step forward at some point to be like, all right, here's the roadmap for 2025.
Right. I feel like this will be a good event to do so or whatnot. Like, when it comes to, like, non-major Kingdom Hearts 4, like, you know, anything shown off at this supposed event, like, maybe just like, oh, and, you know, we're working hard on Kingdom Hearts 4, guys. We'll show you stuff when we can. Something like that. I don't know. But that,
yeah,
you know,
like a mention or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that means, oh man, the Switch 2's get revealed next week, you guys.
I mean, also too, can you imagine this thing of like, you know, they show a Switch 2 trailer for like the Kingdom Hearts games or whatever, the collection coming natively, blah 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 blah, and then like at the end of that, there's like tune in Summer Games Fest for an announcement, like kind of how they did like the D23 tease thing back in the day with the silhouette of the drill punch. Yeah, that would be like fucking good. Would have pulled back.
It'll be crazy if they did something similar to what Nintendo did with Twilight Princess HD. And I don't know if you've ever seen that, but there was like a very small segment where they show off Twilight Princess HD, and then that it's gonna have connectivity with Breath of the Wild. Back when we didn't know about Breath of the Wild, we just called it this other Wii U. So they did like a really tiny transition from the end of the Twilight Princess HD trailer, where it showed Link on Epona, and then the Twilight Princess, and then a light flash to go on it, and then it's Link on a horse from Breath of the Wild, and just showing up a really small taste of it, and then giving a year. So I'm like, maybe they can do something like that, where it just shows Sora like you know, looking out the window, but the graphics look a lot better. But we don't see his face; we just see from the back of the head or some shit.
That's right. Like 3-5 seconds max.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And we're gonna dissect the fuck out of that if that happens.
But it's interesting. I don't know if you remember that information that came out last year where a reporter from Bloomberg, and this was when the information came out talking about how Square Enix, like the sales for 16 and Rebirth didn't hit target or whatever, and blah, blah. But one of the interesting takeaways was that basically investors are a little bit concerned because for the next 2 years, looking at 2024 and 2025, there are no major releases, which is absolutely, as far as where we are right now, is absolutely lining up. Like there is like nothing major in the pipeline up until the unknown of 2026 and beyond.
Right. They really need to start getting more transparent with this stuff. Now they have to tell us, because I mean, like, telling us is also telling investors, and then like, yo, if you don't want your stock to dip and you don't want investors to like back out, you need to show us what you're cooking, right? At a certain degree, because I mean, of course, there's the whole idea of being patient, but then there's also the idea of like, hey, listen, you're in a business, and business requires sales, talk, customers, all that good jazz. So yeah. I also like to give a quick shout out really quick to voiceover One Winged Angel, who super chatted $5 saying, but what if it's fate for darkness? wait, not his fate. What of his hate for darkness when it comes to the Master Masters is that he became a darkness but didn't realize it. Maybe he's a darkness because of that. Well, I wouldn't say the Master Masters became a darkness because of his hatred, because like we know he's housing a true darkness right now. And then of course the fact that all these naming conventions when it comes to the Lost Masters go and deal with the 7 deadly sins, and then Master Masters being the odd man out, pride, superbia.
Pride, yeah.
Like I feel like he has the true darkness of pride. They're all like a true darkness relating to a specific deadly sin. But I don't think himself inherently is a darkness. Like if we were to not count the fact that he's a vessel for one, right? He's still a being of light. He thinks like in the sense of how beings of light think, because if he was a darkness, then the darkness will be able to understand him, and then he would lose his trump card in this big fight, this big war. So I don't think he's a darkness. But thank you so much for the super chat.
That's really interesting, because there's also been that theory floating around that the foretellers that can be seen wearing the black coat within Kingdom Hearts 4 are basically those darknesses, and that Sora is going to be basically the Master of Masters is going to like use Sora to extinguish those dark versions of them, because they're just randomly like wearing the black coats.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's
No,
like,
it's interesting.
I feel that they slid that scene in specifically to show us like, hey, this is what the black coats look like in
Yeah. Look at the new textures, man.
Yeah.
Hard out, dude. I remember actually when we got the first trailer, like comparing the minute details, because we got such a close up of Donald. Comparing like Donald in Kingdom Hearts 3 to the advancements they made, still running Unreal Engine 4 to the Kingdom Hearts 4 version. My God, bro, it's an night and day.
It is.
It's
and
insane.
The colors are deeper, like the what do you call them? The dimensions are like he's more defined and whatnot. It's like, oh, it's just Kingdom Hearts 3 model. I'm like, no, this is better than that Kingdom Hearts 3 model.
Upped, like up. It's insane. New metal materials and like the quality of like the zip and the actual texture on his clothing is like insane. The new belt on around his hat is like a proper like leather texture, way better than the black belt thing he's got around his hat in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's insane. So can you imagine what the game is going to look like when we next see it? My God.
I want to see the updated Sora model in that art style. Like the Kingdom Hearts 4, like Kingdom Shader model, I need to see that. And
100.
It's gonna be crazy. Yo, we're gonna eat so good. And I could just imagine, like, it'll be hilarious to see what Yozora could possibly look like if it was pulled into like Sora's universe.
I know. Yeah. That is exciting.
Yep. So with that being said, I think we are at time.
Let's do it.
Oh my goodness. I want to thank everyone for being here when it comes to the Fifth Dimension. We are streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and we have a conglomeration of almost 2,000 viewers combined. Thank y'all so much for coming on out to the Speak. The Fifth Dimension is back, and I hope that 2025 is going to be our year, our home for Kingdom Hearts and beyond. So with that being said, everyone please give a warm goodbye to our boy Jared. Let them know where they can find you if they don't already.
You guys can find me at youtube.com/thegamersjoint or x.com/thegamersjoint. I'll never get used to calling it that. x.com. Hello.
I'll never call it that.
No, yeah, for sure. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Fifth Dimension. And HMK, thank you so much for having me, man. It's always good to talk a little bit about Kingdom Hearts and nerd the fuck out. Always fun time.
Of course, always fun people, always fun times. Talk a little, man. More than lots.
A lot.
So hopefully this will be something that's going to be way more prevalent. Hopefully, in the future, this year, we'll have many more conversations because there'll be much more to talk about. So,
absolutely.
Until the next episode of The Fifth Dimension, everyone, always know to be brave, be brave, dive deep, and enter the Fifth Dimension. I'll check